In previous lecture, we discussed about the objects and we created different objects, like we created numeric objects and we created character objects. What does it mean that data comes in different forms and shapes in R? R records data in different forms and there are different types of the data in the perspective of the R. So we need to understand all those types of the data. But before going into the types of the data, I want to communicate one other aspect of creating an object. Suppose we have given this name A and B. We can give the name like income to an object. And we can give the name like poverty data. We can give it the name of the object and we can just assign the values and write the object. Now, if we are giving a name to the object, what are the precautions that we need to take? What are the rules for that? So let us move to the rules of creating the name or giving a name to the object. The first rule in creating an object is that it should start with letters, and we will use small cases. And the second rule is that it should not have spaces. Instead of spaces, we can use underscores. It's better to use underscore rather spaces. And the third very important rule is that when you create an object, you should take care of it that it should not be the name of any function in a package or the name of a package. It should not be defined in any other package. Like suppose I will just give you an example. We have used the function log and we also used the function sqrt. So you cannot give the name to an object like log. You cannot give it a name like sqrt. You can name it some different way that doesn't exist in the R package. Now let us discuss some type of the data in R. The first type of the data in R is called numeric data. Numeric data, it comes only in numbers. And the second type of the data is character. Like I will just give an example. This type of the data comes in the textual format, like the names of the people, name of the countries. So this is the character objects and it comes in the shape of textual data. The third one, a very important and a little bit difficult one, is the logical data. And the logical data is basically a result of a logical operation. You can use it to compare two variables and check whether the statement is true or false. So the logical data usually comes in the shape of true or false. And we're going to check that, if we say that y is an object and we give the statement that 2 is equal to 3. Remember, when you write equal sign in R, you're going to write it twice, equal and then equal. So this statement says that 2 is equal to 3, which is not true. So if we run it, it is going to give us the false. But this is the logical data. And this kind of data is mostly used in data cleaning when we create a new variable while comparing two variables for the cleaning purposes. And we are going to use that in future lectures. The fourth very important type of data is vector data. And this is the data that represent categorical variables. We have, the categorical variable like gender, and we have the categorical variable like regions, male and female as gender, regions. We have different, Asia, Europe, America. We have these regions. So this kind of data. Literate and illiterate is another kind of the vector variable or the categorical variable. We have studied this categorical variable in the second lecture in detail. So you can go and check the definition of the categorical variable if you want to know more about this topic. The next important topic in R is if you want to know the type of the data. Suppose you have created any object, like this is the first object that you have created. Now you want to know about the type of this data. So there is this function called class, and you write the object name in parentheses and it is going to tell you which type of data it is. There is another type of function that's called is.numeric, and you in parentheses you will write the object name. It is going to tell you whether it is true or not. Then is.character or is.logical. So you can ask R whether your data is numeric or logical or the character. So the result output will be true or false. If it is true, if your data is numeric and you ask this function, it is going to give you the true. So let us practice this in R Studio. Suppose we have created this object a is 9, which is a numeric vector, numeric object, and we have created another object that's called Japan, and we give it Japan. So this is character vector. If we want to know the type of the data, we will write class, and then I'm going to write A. So if I just press Control Enter, it says this data is numeric, which is true. Again, if I ask class equal to B, and I press Control Enter, it says that it is a character object. Another way to know the type of the data is.numeric, and I will just write A and then press Control Enter. So it says that yes, it is true. It is a numeric data. If I say is.character, and I once again check for A, it says it is false. So this is not the character data. And if I say is.character for B, it will say true. Yes, it is saying that this is true. The B is a character object. Now let us discuss the logical objects. Suppose I create an object Y and then put the sign of the object creation and say 2 is equal to 3. If I run it, and this time if I check is.logical, and I just give the name of that, it said yes, this is true. It is a logical object. And a logical object comes in the shape of true or false. If I say Y and press Control Enter, it is going to say false because the 2 is not equal to 3. So it usually comes in the shape of true or false. Once again, if I create another object X, and this time I give it 3 is greater than 2, and if I ask X, I have pressed the Control Enter and it says it's true. 3 is greater than 2. And if I ask the nature of this variable is .logical, and I write the X, it would say yes, this is logical. And next time if I just write it class of the X, it is saying that this is the logical object. So this is the way that you can know, or you can ask R which type of data or which type of object you have created. You can know the type of the data that you have entered.